death is not just an existential reality beneath our every experience, beneath our every moment. Death is also when things disappear or experiences come to an end, relationships die away. Something that I've gotten used to. Even there was it 2 years ago? There was 2 years ago, we lived in a different reality, right? A reality in which everything was open, and in retreat, I used to hug something like 80 people for 2 hours. I remember that very well. You remember that very well, right? Hugs in abundance. Who ever thought, right, that one day this would become a forbidden touch? Something that you need to consider, even a handshake. So, and this is a reality that died. Perhaps it doesn't mean that it will not return, but it is also a form of death. Death is anything that I'm used to, and a situation that I have fixed in my mind as permanent, as eternal, you see? This is how the brain works. Whatever it finds pleasure in, whatever it likes, it wants to keep in a fixed, permanent state, immovable. It wants to make the movable immovable. It doesn't want it to die. Sometimes the mind keeps even things that make it miserable. Sometimes this is because it still has the hope of making this a pleasant situation or a positive experience, and to that hope it clings very strongly. So it fixes the situation in the hope that investing in it would be beneficial in the future. Or that it has gotten used to a certain form of suffering and it wants to keep it because it is at least familiar, you see? In short, what we do is that we don't want things that are pleasurable, that we associate with joy, to die. We don't like death, you see? Some people, on the other hand, are addicted to death, to creating death, to causing death, in the sense that they, for their own insecurity, for their own fear of commitment, of fixing things, stabilizing things, they keep stopping things before they get a chance to become established. Do you understand? You kill it before it kills you. You make sure that you don't stabilize anything, and you call it non-attachment. So that's another form. So some people seem to like death. Some people don't like death, but both share the same thing. They all don't like death. Why? Because also those who run away, they run away from something that symbolizes death to them. Do you understand? Something that is fixed is associated in their mind with death, with the ending of something that is more precious to them. Their own freedom, their own, this is what they want to fix. So whatever it is, we don't like death. And we cling to our relationships, and we cling to our workplaces, and we cling to our family very strongly, because family is the only one fixed, one reliable structure that you can always return to. You can always trust it. Family is the axis around which your life revolves and transcends life, transcends death. It is really the best. So I'm not talking against families. I'm just saying that what we make of them, because of our insecurity, our fear of life's instability, of death, we keep trying to cling to structures that mostly satisfy our minds. You see, these are images that we want to nurture, to keep forever. And this can happen, by the way, even if I have a girlfriend for 2 weeks. Already for 2 weeks, I can envelope myself around this experience and want to make it, to fix it, and already get attached to it. And this is why even after 2 weeks relationship, I can feel that I'm going to die if this ends. We are so quick to attach because we don't attach to people. It is our insecurity that projects on relationships a fixed state. We are so insecure, so fearful, so afraid of death. So this is why I appreciate very much that you call it death. Yes, it is small death, a small death, and there are many such deaths at life, in life, and they are all preparations for the big death, you see. Because then there is the death in which everything ends. Not some of your relationships, not a certain structure, not someone close to you dies. It's not one attachment that you separate from. It is you, which means your entire planet, your entire universe is gone. And we need to practice with small attachments, with small possessions, with small experiences. Small death can also take place when, I don't know, I have a strong spiritual experience. The spiritual experience is astonishing. I'm experiencing such heights, and finally I know, I understand everything, and then it's gone. I'm starting to feel it, how it is fading away, and that's it. Back to normal. Some people I know, they speak of a certain spiritual experience for 20, 30 years. With such longing, with such always wanting to return to it. Never, we don't like death. The brain likes repetition, it likes continuity, it likes what it calls life, which is the permanency of those things that we want to keep permanent, and the impermanence of those things that we don't want to keep permanent. So, so that's how it goes. Now, So then when the spiritual experience dies away, it is such a wonderful thing, you see. It is such a beautiful thing to let it die. You feel how it slowly dissolves. And you know that since you live in an impermanent world in which you yourself are impermanent, you yourself, what you are, is impermanent, there is so much beauty and love in death, you see. And the thing is that if you know how to let your spiritual experience die, really die, this is a spiritual experience in itself. This can be sometimes more transformative than the spiritual experience can be. Do you understand? If you know how to let it fully die, you die with it. And you die to your attachment, to your clinging to the self. Because you are this clinging, you are this desire for permanence. And when it all goes away, there is a tremendous liberation.